find the domain, and find the range. So same process. So group 2, that's Anthony, Ashley, Kathleen, I'm sorry, Kathleen and Michael L. So who would like to help us with the domain? Oh no, ordered pairs. Sorry, A is ordered pairs.
I didn't get A, but I had got the answer for B and C. I was a little stuck on how to get the order pairs.
Okay. What about the other people in your group? Anthony, Kathleen, Michael, L. Did any of you get the order?
For A, I got 2, 3.
2, 3. So that's this
And
point right here, if anyone's wondering. Okay.
And then 4, -3.
-3. So that's this point. Okay.
And then -2, 1.
Oh, this is going to get a little messy. Let me go over here. Use a different color so it doesn't get too crazy.
And then 3, 4.
3, 4. Wait, 3, 4. Where's that one? 3, 4. Which point is that one?
Oh, I lied. It's 2, 3.
Because 3 is over here and then 4 is up here. So that would be up here, but I don't see a point up there. Did you mean something different?
I think she meant -3, 4.
Yeah, I meant -3, 4.
There we go. -3, 4. Okay.
I think
that
I
one's
think
up here.
the one above is supposed to be -2, -1.
Oh, did I write it wrong?
Yeah, because isn't it -2?
Oh, you're right. Oops, I just forgot the negative on my mouse clicking. All right. We have one more point. Did you have one more, Kathleen?
And then I have 4, -1.
Oh, there's 2 more. Yeah. Okay, 4, -1. And that is that one.
And then 0, -3.
Sorry, this is kind of messy, but I want everyone to be able to see which point is which. Okay, there you go. So you would just list them all out. You wouldn't have to draw them crazy like this with arrows. Don't do that. Just list them out. I'm just showing you with the arrows so you know which point is which. So you would just list them. Okay. All right, any questions on the points? All right, so let's do part B, find the domain. So Kathleen helped me with that one. So I think Ashley wanted to do this one.
Yeah, that's fine. For that, I had got -3, -2, 2, and 4.
2 and 4. I think you might be missing one.
0.
Oh,
Yeah, we need 0.
0.
We have
Yeah.
-3, -2, 0, 1. No, 0, 2, 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Why would you get 0?
Because this point right here is 0, -3. So that's an X that has to be included in the domain. 0 is an X.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, that's how I end up getting -3. But I need to have a 0 right there.
Well, the -3 should have been from the X also. So this point right here, this point is -3, 4. So that's where you get your domain X of -3. X is the first number, like alphabetically, XY.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
cool. All right, so that leaves either Anthony or Michael L for part C, the range.
I can do it.
Okay. Sounds good.
So for the range, I just got. Do I need to do it in order, like of negative or anything?
You
or
should
is
do
it
it in numerical order. Typically, we
Numerical
just
order,
do it that
okay.
way. Yeah.
So I got -3,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't do a second one because you're not supposed to do 2, right? It's just 1.
You wouldn't write -3 twice. Yeah, it's repetitive.
-1 once again, and then 3, and then 4.
Is that what everyone else got?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you.
Any questions on those? No? All right, cool. Let's go to the next one. Delete this one. So 297. So this one says we're going to determine whether it's a function Then we're gonna find the domain and then the range. All right, so I think Michael, were you the last one in that group that hadn't answered one yet?
Yeah, I didn't get to that actually. I didn't even look at it. I was gonna try and do the last one, but Anthony jumped at it. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I can try.
Sure.
2, 7.
So remember, every X can only have one unique Y. So if any of the X's are repeated, it has to have the same Y. It can't have a different Y. So like -3, there's only one of those, right?
Uh-huh.
So that one's fine. That one isn't repeated, so we don't have to worry about it. -2, is that one repeated?
No,
No, that X is not repeated. -1,
isn't repeated either.
okay.
There is 0. None of the. We're looking at the X's.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
Function
none
is-
of them seem to be repeated.
Okay, so it looks like it's a function. If one of them was repeated, it would have to have the same Y. So let's say -3 was repeated. We had it twice in here. We had an X that was -3. Then the Y would have to be the same, otherwise it's not a function. So if it's different, let's say it was -3, 2, that's a violation. That means that you have here -327, -3, 2. That makes it not a function. So if the X is repeated, it can only have the same Y. If it has a different Y, no go, no good.
In this case, teacher, we can say like each input has one output, right?
Exactly, yep. Each input has a unique output.
Yes.
Mhm.
Thank you.
All right, cool. So group 3 is Diana and Gina. I don't know where your third person went. So it's just Diana and Gina. Can you answer the domain and range? One of you take domain, one of you take range.
I get the domain.
Okay, awesome.
I got -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3.
Awesome, perfect. So you listed out all the X's and there's no repeats. Cool. All right, so that was Diana. So Gina, can you do the range? Gina, your camera's off. Are you there?
I'll
I'm
do the
here. I
range.
did not. I didn't
Okay.
get to that point.
Oh, can you try it now? The range is the Y's. Can you try it out?
Okay. Yeah.
So you want to tell me the smallest Y first. Remember, the Y is the second number in the parentheses. So the smallest Y first. Are you still thinking about it, Gina, or did I lose you?
Yeah. Let's see. I haven't gotten to that one, so let me see. It would be 0.
Good, that's the smallest Y.
And then it would be -1. I don't know. Hold on. I'm incorrect. I never really understood like domain and range.
Okay, so if you look at a point, the first number is the X. The second number is the Y.
Y, yeah, it's a Y.
So the
we're looking
range
for all the
is
Y's,
all the
right? Okay,
Ys.
so then it would be 0, and then it would be 1, and then it would be another 1, maybe?
We don't have to write it if it repeats.
Okay, and then it would be 8. 27. I think that's it.
Awesome, cool. See, you got it. All right, any questions on this domain and range?
Yes, I have a question.
Sure.
what if I had got like the same numbers, but okay, for a test, how about instead of putting from least to greatest and we maybe say put them from greatest to least, will we get a point deducted for that, or do we just need to kind of like keep an eye on it and just make sure we do least to greatest?
Well, the expectation is least to greatest. I don't know, Professor Severs, would we
I would
take off?
say like, yeah, convention is it's like least to greatest. I mean, technically, I guess it's correct in any order you put it in. I probably wouldn't count off, but like I would probably like try to steer you in the right direction and tell you to do it least to greatest. Because I think that's more like going to come up like later when we start doing other stuff.
Okay, so I just kind of keep in mind to do least to greatest, because I kind of just did it to like, you know, the first one I seen, that's how I was doing it on my paper, but okay, got you.
Yeah, least to greatest is definitely the way we're supposed to do it. And not only that, but even for grading, it does make it harder for us if it's all over the place, and you might miss something, we might miss something, and then points are off and it just gets more complicated. So we should just try to do it the way we're supposed to, which is least to greatest. Okay. All right, if there's no more questions on that, we'll go to the next one, which is 301, and we are at the next group now. So that is group 4, Brian, Fernanda, Genya, and Terry. And let me see the directions we have. First is to determine if it's a function. So who wants to do that one?
We can do it.
Okay.
The first one, A, it's not a function because because 2 input has one output.
Yep. Can you give one example, like why it's not?
Okay, I need to check it in there because I did this one.
Okay.
It's
So
hard.
for example,
Sorry.
that's
Because
okay. I can give an
was
example. That's all right. I can give an example if you're having trouble with it. I know zooming in on it's hard. So for example, Jenny has 2 emails, right? Jenny maps to the R1, RH Hernandez, right? That's one of the things she maps to. And she also maps to J Kim.
Yeah.
So that's your X going to 2 different Y's. There's your X, and then there's 2 different Y's. So that's why it's not a function.
Wait, the R Hernandez goes with Raul. Jenny
Oh,
does
sorry.
J Kim.
Okay, J Kim. Yeah, you see the idea. I meant Jenny. Sorry. Let me change this. This was Jenny at AOL. But I just wanted you to see the idea that Jenny is being mapped to 2 different Y's. Okay, that's why it's not a function. Any questions on that?
It's still got an AOL.
I know. AOL's so much
Oh.
less often now. All right. So Brian or Fernanda or Terry for the domain?
The domain is all names, all the names, Jenny, Randy.
Yeah. So y'all would write it
Yes,
out.
Emily, Raul.
Yeah. So y'all would write the actual names. I'm just abbreviating so you don't sit here for 10 minutes watching me write names.
So we couldn't write like where on the side that the left side where the name is, I couldn't just write the domain on that side and the range on the other. You physically want us to write it out.
Yeah, because technically there could be things there that are not part of the domain or range, and then you could get it incorrect. It just depends on the picture and what's going on. But if it tells you to list the domain and range, you should write it like in these swirly bracket things with commas.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right, range.
Would
So
the range
Fernanda?
be all the emails?
Yeah, all the emails.
Okay.
So list out all the emails. I'll just write the first letter of all the emails so you know how it's supposed to look with the commas and everything.
Yeah.
J and R. Yeah. So you would list them all out. All right. Any questions on these before we go back to our groups to keep going?
Can we abbreviate, or are you expecting us to write them out too?
I mean, for the email, just write the first couple letters and then do ... That's fine. Like for the email. For the names, you can write them, they're short, but for the emails, just so you could, for Chris, or sorry, for R Hernandez, you could write like RH ... That's fine. Yeah. But technically, if it was like a test or something, just write it out. I don't think we would give you something this long on a test though. So, all right. So let's go back to our groups and let me see which ones we're going to do. We are going to do 309. Let me type it in. 309, comma, 311, comma, 319. So let's do, we'll throw in 327 too, why not? And if no one gets to those, we can always go back to groups to continue, but I'll just put 4.
I was going to say Terry needs to check her email.
Yes. And then Michael, I am seeing your messages. I just haven't had a chance to type because I've been talking, but I am seeing them. Okay. All right. So let me send you back to groups.
Oh, no worries. I spoke to you, so that answers my question.
Oh, okay. I did do attendance, by the way. I just did it on my
I get it. Okay.
For some reason, it keeps reverting to just our regular name instead of where we had it. Whenever we move into breakout groups and move back, it switches it. I don't know why.
Oh, that's so weird.
I know.
All right, everybody's back. Cool. So let's do group 5. So Charmaine, Joshua, and Michael F. One of y'all would like to help with 309. The directions are to plug in f of 2 first.
So for A, and just plugged it in where plug 2 in where x would be. So f of 2 is -4x, or -4 times 2 plus 2.
Okay. And what'd you get from that?
-8 plus 2, and then brought me to -6 for A.
All right. Did everyone else get -6?
Yes.
Yep. All right.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. All right, next person in the group, we're doing f of -1. That was Joshua. So Michael F, if you could help out with it, or Charmaine.
I just realized I got it wrong.
Oh, it's okay. That's why we're going over it.
I'm starting to get it, but still don't have any idea what I'm doing.
That's okay. Just try it out. What would you do, Michael? You have the problem and there's an X, so we're going to put parentheses there where the X is, and what goes in the parentheses?
That is going to be -1.
Exactly. There you go. Now we're going to follow order of operations.
Let's see, let me write this here. Right. F times -1 equal -4 times -1 plus 2.
Good.
Okay, and then I guess that would just make F -F. Is that right? Is that possible?
So the left side, that's just how we read it. That's what we call notation. So that's actually read as f of -1. So we just leave it there. That's just the notation. That's not a multiplication or anything.
Okay.
So we're just going to solve the right side to get our f of -1. So the -4 times the -1, and then add the 2.
Just be 6. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yep, there you go. Awesome. So did everybody hear that? That's how we read that. We would read this as f of -1. It's not f times -1. I know the parentheses usually mean multiply, but this is f of -1. Just like this one up here is f of 2. So it's not a multiplication, it's a notation thing. Charmaine, do you want to give the part C a try where we have f of A?
Well, I had gotten the number wrong, so I'm not too sure how to work it because I totally just read it wrong. I was trying to figure out the whole time how to solve A and get that number.
Oh, okay. Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna write our problem, and instead of an X, we're gonna put parentheses. And then we're basically plugging into the parentheses whatever our f of is, like f of 2. So we plugged in 2 for A. F of -1, so we plugged in -1 for B, for part B. And now we have f of A for part C. So what am I going to plug into those parentheses? What am I going to put there?
Nothing maybe, or I guess A, I don't know.
A, yep, exactly, just A. So we could simplify it a little bit, but not really. We're just gonna get -4A, right? Because -4 times A is just -4A. So it's kind of a boring answer because we didn't really get to do anything with it. But that's it. You can't simplify it anymore.
Excuse me, teacher, about the f minus 1. Is it the result is 6, right? Not -6.
F of -1 is +6 because we have 4 times -1, which turns into a +4 plus 2.
Yes, I want to just make sure because me, I have problem with.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
I have a question about part C for both of these. Did it not want us to take the answer that we got for A and plug that in?
Oh, no, it wasn't asking for
Okay.
that. It wasn't.
I was
asking
taking,
for that.
yeah, I was taking the answer I got and then.
Yeah, I could see how you would think that, but that's not what it's asking for. Yeah, it's just asking for you to plug in the variable A. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why Charmaine was confused because I told her that I plugged
Oh, that makes sense.
in A.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions on this one before we go to 311? All right, let's go to 311. So next group is group 6, which is Alondra, Jonathan, and Vanessa.
And Charmaine says, yes, thank you for clarifying that. I was confused on that one about what process I should use.
Can I try to do the first one? 311.
Sure, go for it.
For 2. So I write out the whole equation first off, just it helps me read it better. F of x equals x squared minus x plus 3. Then I just plugged in 2, so that made it 2. I put 2 in a parentheses, so it's 2 squared minus 2 plus 3 then.
Okay.
And then it's 4 minus 2 plus 3, and that equals 5. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just wrote it out like this. And I flip my
Yeah,
camera.
but is it 5? 4 minus 2?
4
Oh, yeah,
minus
5.
2
It is.
2.
You're right. Yeah, good. Okay.
And that should be my answer. So but I have a question. I'm gonna try and can I flip my camera? Oh yeah. Okay. Is this right? Writing it like at the final answer, putting like F and F and then okay.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I just wrote it as equal sign, but yeah, definitely you would write it like this. That's good.
Oh, perfect. Heard.
Awesome. All right. So Alondra or Vanessa for parts B?
I just plugged in like the -1 for all the, what is it called? All the x's, which is equals parentheses -1 squared and then -1 and then plus 3.
Okay.
And then which is in the bottom, it equals 1 plus 1 plus 3. And then that equals 5.
Oh, we got the same answer, but as part A. Cool. All right, did everyone get that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to, I believe now we have Vanessa for part C, where we're doing F of A.
I didn't get to that one.
That's okay, you can try it right now.
I wasn't sure if you're just supposed to move the A over.
So remember, it's just notation. So we just read this as F of A. It's not like multiplying where you divide anything over. This is just notation. So we're saying that is F of A. It's the function of A.
Because I got f of a equals a squared minus a plus 3.
Okay, so you plugged it in like this. I want to make sure you're plugging it in. And then you simplified the parentheses, right?
Yeah.
You got a squared. And then what was after that?
Would it be plus 3?
Oh, what about this a?
Wait.
Where'd that one go?
Yeah, that's the part I got confused on.
That's just a negative subtracting an a, right? So that's just minus a plus 3. Just negative times parentheses of a, which is still just minus a.
Teacher, here the results is a squared minus a plus 3, right?
Yep, that's it. Can't do anything else. Can't combine it.
You say something like subtract and then you confused me. I said, what? Okay, thank you.
Any questions on this one before we go to 319?
I have a question. Why couldn't we take a from the a squared?
Because they're not like terms. A squared is actually like area. That's like if you had area, let's say you had a room that was like, I don't know, 30 square feet. And you're talking area. And then this one is talking length. So this is talking like a pencil or something, or like a ruler. You can't take away a ruler, like something lengthwise from area. It doesn't make sense. They're not like terms. A squared is talking about like area. So it only goes with other a squareds. So if we have like a 30 square foot room, we could take away like 10 square feet and that makes sense because they're the same unit. They're the same type of thing. Is that clarified a little bit? Okay. That's like saying we're going to combine like inches and feet. Like they're not the same unit. It doesn't really work. We would have to try to make them the same unit if possible. And in this case, we can't because it's area and just length. They're not even the same dimension. That's like trying to say feet and gallons. Like you want to subtract feet and gallons. It doesn't really make sense. Yeah. All right. Any other questions before we move on? Okay, we'll go to the next one. So 319 looks like it has a little bit more complicated directions. We're finally getting some H in there and some other things going on. So it looks like the first one is G of H squared. Ooh, very interesting. All right, so let's try group 7 because we're finished with group 6. So that's Caitlin, Jerry, and Jade. Caitlin, Jerry, and Jade. Kind of rhymes a little bit. Jerry and Jade. No, not.
Yeah, my brain does not comprehend this.
I think I did this one right. I'm not sure.
Can we try it with the parentheses? It's the same process we've been doing. Just because there's an H there doesn't change the process.
Yeah. What I did is I did 3 minus parentheses H squared, and then I just rewrote it without the parentheses.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, there's nothing else we can do. That one's kind of boring, even though there's an H squared thrown in the mix. Okay. All right. Next one. This one looks like it might be a little more interesting. Okay, so Jerry helped me on that one. So that leaves Caitlin and Jade. If one of you could help me with this one.
Honestly, I'm just really confused on this entire thing, like all of it.
So we write the same thing as the regular g of x function, but instead of an x, we put parentheses, and then we plug in whatever is in the parentheses here.
Okay.
So that's the first step, and then we just simplify. So do you think you could try this one?
So this one would be 3 minus x plus 2.
Parentheses, x plus 2, and now we're going to simplify. That was all the hard part. Now it's just simplifying. We've done that before. So what would you do if the directions on this were simplify, like on test 1?
Okay, so it's going to be 3 minus x minus 2.
Good.
And then
3 minus 2 is 1. So you can like combine like terms kind of.
So you get 1 minus x.
Yeah.
I think that's it. There's because you can't combine a 1 and an x. They're two different units, two different things. So that's it.
Yes,
Was that all right, Jade and Caitlin? And
that was actually easier than I thought it was going to be, honestly.
okay. Caitlin, was that all right for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Excuse me, please.
Uh-huh.
You mean the first for the a f of h? We don't have the square there. We have just f of h equals to 3 minus h, right?
On 319, we're plugging
Yes.
in g of h squared. So
It's
it becomes
square.
Yeah, the problem says that we're plugging in g of h squared. I mean, that's what part A is. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right. So Caitlin and Jade, let's see if y'all can do the last one. Since you kind of both pitched in on the previous one, let's see if you can do the last one. You can both pitch in on this one. All right. What do you think? Looks like we get to do it twice, right? There's 2 G's now. So same thing twice. You want to take a guess at it? Or we could do this piece first and then put a plus and then try the second piece if you want to break it up.
Is it basically like how it's set up right above it with the g and then the x plus 2? It's just like separated pretty much, right?
Well, this is the first piece. This is the g of x, right? Because I put parentheses and I plugged in an x. So that's the first piece. And then I can put a plus, which represents this plus right here. And then what would I write for the last piece? What would I write for this g of 2?
3 minus 2.
3 minus parentheses 2. Yeah. So I just kind of broke it up into 3 pieces so you could see. Now, could y'all help me simplify it?
Yeah, so you have to distribute the negative, or I guess first write down 3 and then distribute the negative sign to the x. So it's minus x plus 3 minus 2. And then combine like terms. So 3 plus 3 is 6, minus 2 is 4, and then minus x.
Okay. Yeah, and there's nothing else we can simplify. That's all we can do. So this was A, and this is B, and then this whole thing down here was C, because I want to make sure there was space. Okay. Any questions on that one?
Okay, so I do have one question. Yeah, so where you have part C on that, I wanted to make sure I know how you got number 2, the number 2 there.
From the problem, it says to do G of 2. See how there's a 2 right here? So for the second one, I was plugging in 2.
Oh, okay, I do see that. All right. I was actually looking at the wrong number, my bad, so thank you.
Oh, okay, no problem. Any other questions?
Excuse me, the results for C teacher is minus x plus 4, right?
Yes, or at 4 minus x, same thing.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Right. Okay, so let's go to 327. I think we just did one of the harder ones right there, so y'all are doing great. 327. So 327, we're just doing f of 2, so there's no multiple parts. There's just one problem. So now we've gone through all the groups. So I'll just take a volunteer. Who would like to help me with this one? Number 120 or 327.
I could do it.
Okay.
Go for it, Jerry.
I just plugged in the 2 for the x. I did f of 2 equals 2 plus 2 over 2 plus or 2 minus 1.
Okay, great. And then simplify, right?
Yeah, I got 4 over 3.
Oh, 3. Is it 3?
Over 1.
Oh, my bad. I put plus 1.
Oh,
Yep.
that's okay. So 4. Awesome. That one was actually a lot quicker than it looked like. It looked a little bit scarier, but once we solved it, it was actually pretty quick. Yeah. Any questions on this one? No? All right, so I'm gonna give you all like a minute to try 329. We're not gonna go to groups because it's a pretty quick one, but I just want y'all to try it and then we'll talk about what you get. So about a minute for everyone to try 329. I'm gonna mute myself for a minute so y'all can focus. All right, someone want to tell us what they got? Which one is the independent variable?
Is it
It'd be 85 because it's already there. It doesn't matter how much time passes. Those the set number to start with.
So you're thinking of a constant. What you're saying is like it's already set and it's already there. So 85 is a constant, so that's correct, but it's not a variable. Variable means that it's changing. So
It's a
85 is actually the opposite of what you were saying, but it's a constant. So what's an independent variable?
It's a T.
The T, right? There's two things that are changing in this problem. We
Yes.
have the T, which is the time. That's a variable because it's changing. And we have the number of shows watched. That's another variable. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about variables. So the independent one, the one that doesn't matter about the other one, is the time. No matter what, the time's going to pass. The weeks are going to pass. It's going to keep happening. So T is our independent variable, which represents time. Which one is our dependent variable?
It's the N.
Actually, it's N of T, technically.
N of
It
T.
depends on the T. That's
Yes,
why we say
depends.
N of T. And this one is the number of shows. Yeah. I shouldn't put a parenthesis around that. It's going to look like that's how you're supposed to write it. I'm just telling you what it means in English terms. So I'll put like a bunch of spaces so you don't get confused and think it's part of it. It's just me telling you what it means. Okay. So yeah, Michael was good to bring up that 85 is a constant. That's actually how many shows we probably start with, right? 85 is probably what we start with. And then it looks like there's probably 20 shows per week because it's 20 times T, and T is the weeks. So that means every week, if we make T a 1, we get another 20. If we make T a 2, we get another 20. Every week that passes, we're getting another 20. So those are what each of the things mean. All right, what about 335? Y'all can read that one and tell me what you think. Is every relation a function?
Not,
No.
no.
No, why is every relation not a function? Or can you give a counterexample?
Because not every relation have more than one. More than, okay, it's not every function. No, not every relation not every relation function have a relation because it's always, I don't know how can I say it, sorry.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say. Yeah, a relation is just that we're relating two variables together.
Yeah.
Function means that the y can't repeat if it's the same x, right? Every x needs its own y.
Right.
So this, for example, would not be a function, but it is a relation. We are relating the 2 and the 5 and the 4 and the 5, but it's not a function because the 5 has two different y's.
Has more than one number, two inputs.
Yeah. So is every function a relation?
No.
No? Can you give me an example of a function that's not a relation?
No, sorry. Every function is a relation because every every y has an x. Yeah.
Yeah. Every function is a relation. It's already a relation. We're just checking to see if it's a function.
Because it's a pair.
Yep.
I don't know if a Venn diagram would help, but that's the way I kind of picture it. It's like we have like the relations is a smaller circle or larger circle, functions is a smaller.
Yep. So here's all your relations. And then here's your functions. It has to be inside. So that's a way to remember it if you're a visual person.
It's a very specific type of relation. There are other relations that aren't functions.
Yes, that's like saying, you know, a square is a rectangle, but not all the rectangles are squares, you know, something like that. All right, I think we actually finished them all today, which I'm pretty impressed with. Normally we take a lot longer going through questions and things, but I think y'all got this section pretty well. So don't forget, we are not doing late work anymore. I know I've been reminding over and over and over and over. We're following the syllabus now. So get those deadlines in your calendars and your cell phones, your alarms, your sticky notes all over the mirror, computer, wherever you need them to help you remember to turn stuff in. We'll be releasing the test back soon. We still have, like I said, one student that we're trying to work with about the test. Once that's taken care of, then we will send them back to y'all. Okay. Any questions for today?
I had a question about the late work. So I've been submitting it like 5-10 minutes after the exact like time frame because my scanner just like decides to work sometimes and sometimes it doesn't.
Can you plan ahead?
Yeah, I
if
guess
it's due at midnight, can you start turning it in at 10?
Yeah. So as far as these last two ones, is that like too late or?
I mean, for the last two, that's all right. Well, it's really close to the deadline, but if you know that you have technical issues, do it earlier. I mean,
Yeah, I just got the scanner, so.
Yeah. Okay. Just like if you're having camera issues, right? For the test, you can't use that camera if that camera's not working.
Right.
So once you get to know your technology, which is what those first few weeks were, you know, adjust.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's due by midnight tonight?
Oh, let's write it out. What's due, Professor Sievers? My mind was in the lesson. What's due? By
We did
tonight,
3-3
we have homework corrections.
last time.
Huh?
I think homework 3-3 tonight. Is that right?
What did you grade today? Whatever you graded today is the homework that's due tonight. I graded 3-1 last time.
I've been working on the tests. I haven't gotten around to grading.
Oh, okay. So 3.2, I think, if you grade that for them, that's what's due tonight. Because I did 3.1 on Friday, so that would have already been due. Right?
Yeah, 3-2 correction should be due. But I hadn't gotten around to grading them.
Okay. And then homework itself tonight is 3.3, because that's what we covered on Thursday, right? Or did we already turn that in? I think that's due tonight because we wanted to give them an opportunity to ask questions in office hours.
Yep.
Okay, and then due tomorrow by class is the notes. It's lecture notes. What's the next one? Lecture notes.
3.6.
3.6, okay. That's correct, right? I heard one person say 3.6. Is that good? It's 3.6?
Yeah, 3.5 was today. So tomorrow's 3.6.
Okay, cool. So those are the things due before class tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone, and
Great.
have a good day.
Thank you. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.
Remember, we're here if you need us.
Thank you.
All right, we probably could stop the recording in case